Hi, this is Kelly.
And Kim.
Welcome to The Skinny. So last week we had another funeral, and it was a busy, crazy...
the week
prior, I should say, the week prior, which is why we didn't do a video. I know it feels like every time we come on here, we're telling you we have a funeral. It feels that way.
Feels that way.
We're just going to say that.
But we did weigh in.
We did weigh in. I gained, and this was after the funeral when we weighed in, because the funeral was on Friday and we weighed in Saturday, and I gained 2.8, which was a lot for me. I was still below goal weight, a little bit below goal weight, which was fine.
So good thing you had that.
I had pad. Yeah, I like to be at a certain place. It keeps me happy. It keeps me honest in case things like this happen. And so my goal this week was to just do my week like I normally do, and I lost 0.8. So I am at 136. Goal weight is 137, but I like to be in the 134 range just in case something like this happens. It always gives me that pad. And at the funeral, what we did is we had chocolate chip cookies and we ate what we wanted that day.
They were big ones too.
And frankly,
they were big ones.
Mary would have wanted it.
She would have.
Because she loved her chocolate chips.
I had 3 of them.
Yes.
They were big.
We were a toast to Mary.
Oh yeah. And I had Gouda mac and cheese.
Yes.
Do you know how long it's been since I've had real mac and cheese?
Anyway, it was crazy.
There are no words.
But we said goodbye to a wonderful woman.
We did.
We did it, and we did not count SPs that day.
Nope, nor the evening before.
It was fine.
It was a great celebration.
And you had quite the gain also.
I did. And I got on that scale and went, okay. I gained because I told myself it's okay. I'm going to enjoy it. I'm going to celebrate her, and we're going to have a great time, and we did. We enjoyed just,
Sometimes it's good to celebrate a life.
Absolutely, especially a very long one, and hers was a very lovely, very long one. And I gained 3.2.
Yeah.
And so my goal this past week was just to lose that. Yeah. And I just thought, I'm just going to do what I'm doing.
And guess what she did?
And I lost that and more. I lost 3.6. So I gave myself, I really am looking at it as, I just stayed the same like the week before, and this week I lost 0.4. So in the grand scheme of things, I am down the lowest I've ever been.
Yeah.
I am down 110.8 pounds, and
how
I'm
much to go?
Exactly 11 pounds to go.
It's coming.
So I'm excited. I feel like my plateau is just... And I think it's maybe having weeks where I've buffed up those weeklies. Everybody's talked about it. Eat more of your weeklies, and I have. And obviously last week blew that out of the water. But maybe I needed to do
Can I say Saratoga chips and chocolate chip cookies?
Oh yeah,
it happened.
Gouda mac and cheese. But just saying, maybe my body needed something like that.
Maybe it just needed a punch.
So I'm hoping from here I can just keep that momentum going.
Yep.
I'm going to experiment now that I've kind of feel like I've broken the last 3 weeks. I feel like I've kind of broken that plateau.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go into this week experimenting.
Yeah, and seeing where you want to live.
Maybe eat 10 of my weeklies. Because usually I eat between 8 and 10. Sometimes less, sometimes more. But I'm going to see what that does for me this week and just
Because you might find that eating 15 is better.
And if I lose this week eating 10, maybe next week I'll eat 12.
Yeah.
And maybe see how far I can take it that my body likes or does not like.
Yeah.
So we're gonna experiment with it.
I eat more of mine now just because of maintenance.
Well, sure.
But this week I want to lose, so I might back off a little. So sometimes it's just playing the game.
Your body changes.
Playing the numbers.
I did have, as I said, I was going to go see my doctor and have my blood work checked. I'm within range.
You're good.
Everything is to keep doing what I'm doing.
You're going to go one of these days.
I am. It's going to be a video.
And we're going to leave it.
We're going to leave it. We're absolutely going to leave it. So I talk with my hands.
I talk with my hands too, but you usually come, really close. The other day we were gardening and she went back with her hand and I felt the whoosh of air, like here. She would have punched me in the eye, and I was just like, oh my gosh. So it's like a lot of the time she comes close to hitting me, and I'm starting to wonder about that. The whole, and I'm like, when you can feel the air.
Yeah,
wow.
Talk with my hands in my space.
Oh, talk with your hands in your space. Oh my gosh. Yeah, one of these days when we're leaving, I'll get a bloody nose.
We'll
it's going to be
a
video. Yeah, anyway. So anyway, we had our meeting this week.
It was a really good
If you went to a meeting, usually we don't always pick up really topics from the meeting. Sometimes we might pick up a little piece from a meeting and talk about it, and sometimes it's just where we're at. But this one in particular
was a really good one. I think a topic that, and Aria even said it, it's not a topic that they revisit a lot.
Yeah.
But it's one that's super important.
And I think it's really helped us and played a huge role in our journey.
Sure.
It was being kind to yourself. And
Yes.
I mean, think about how when you beat yourself up, with that kind of negative talk, how that really does
impacts your week.
It does. It impacts this journey greatly.
It does.
And I think if you would even tell yourself, I'm going to spend 2 weeks just positive.
I'm not going to
patting myself on the back, taking care of myself, telling myself how great I am.
And even if you gate at the scale, go, okay, move on.
What am I going to do this week?
What am I going to do to turn that around and commit to it for 2 weeks? I think you would find a much better outcome on this journey. I do. That was why we made the rule early on when we first joined this time. If you're upset with what's at the scale, the rule is you have to, when you walk out, you have to let it go. I mean, there are times I've struggled to do that, as I've obviously shared with you. There's times it's been a struggle because you want to go, what the heck?
What are you doing?
But I will say, even the times that I've struggled, it's not that I'm necessarily mad at me.
Right.
I'm mad at the situation because I'm not understanding what's happening.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a time where I didn't. Well, if I deserve it, then I'm going to go, you know what? It was a week you chose.
Coming from a control freak, it's harder for you to let you, because you are a control freak.
I am. But it's not that I'm like beating myself up per se. It's that I'm like, I want to understand what's happening.
Yeah.
And that upsets me, that I'm frustrated that I can't figure it out.
Yeah.
So I'm really not somebody that beats myself up.
And
I'm not, because what's the point?
That's huge.
I think learned early on, I'm old enough at this point that beating yourself up, I know never, ever solves anything.
So counterproductive.
You accomplish nothing.
Right. And I think we've done Weight Watchers many times. And that's the difference in this time. One of the big differences is...
Not beating myself up. Life's too short.
We said, instead of looking at yourself in the mirror saying, why are you doing this? You suck. You what's wrong with you? Blah, blah, blah. I mean, it's so easy to beat yourself up. Think about this. Would I look at Kim and, okay, I've gained weight, and I beat myself up and tell myself I'm a loser and I'm not, what's wrong with you? Would I say that to Kim? Of course I wouldn't. Then why would I say that to me?
Yeah.
That's the thing. You would never tell a close friend or a sibling or
a child,
a best friend.
Yes.
You would never ever say, well, you suck. I can't believe, I could have said to Kim, well, you suck. You gained 3.6. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
I would never do that. I would say, let's figure out what we're going to do this week.
Let's look at your
week.
We knew what we did.
What do you want to try?
Well, we said, let's figure out this week. When I did it, when I own it.
Yeah, we were going to hop on plan. We were going to, do our best. We were going to just do what we do.
We were excited for the new week to kind of really get back into our routine.
So there was none of that self-flagellation, which we're all can be so good at. But if you leave that at the door, that's one of the, don't you think it's like a millstone around your neck?
Well,
in this journey,
even on other areas of my life, I do not beat myself up. Not even not just looking at the weight loss. There's so many areas of your life. I do not beat myself up in any area of my life. I can honestly say that.
Yeah.
Because it accomplishes nothing. Nothing but makes you unhappy. I consider myself a happy person because I don't do that.
Yeah.
So look at the areas of your life.
Age, and I don't know if that's age.
I think it's age and just like, what's the point?
Yeah,
I want to be happy. Life is short. Do I want to spend part of my life unhappy? No.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you to make a list, or just take a sheet of paper and do some blocks. Write the different aspects of your life. Your life with your significant other, your life with your relationship with your children, your work life, your weight loss life. Maybe if you want to put exercise in its own, life.
Yeah.
Maybe put in another box, put in a relationship with someone that you're super good best friend. Put all of those boxes and ask yourself, are those things, are they positive?
Yeah.
Is what you're getting positive, and is what you're giving positive?
Right. And you find within those, I feel like we have very successful, I think, friendships and long-term friendships.
We do.
And
we're very lucky.
A lot of that is you have to nurture those, and you have to be kind to each other, and you have and we do that to ourselves.
And if you have someone that's not being the kind party to you in that friendship, maybe
you adjust some boundaries.
You either have a conversation with that person, or maybe that relationship needs to go away.
Or it's just a different kind of boundary.
It's a different kind of friendship. You know? Maybe you change that friendship. But I can't imagine any one of our friends ever not being so wonderful and so supportive.
Yep.
We are very lucky in our friendships. We truly, truly are.
But at the same time, we're lucky that we've come to this point in our life, and I want everybody to seek this. Do your best to treat yourself with kindness. It's treat yourself like you would your best friend. Think of your best friend.
Yep.
How you treat that person, how you are with them. Do that to yourself.
To yourself, and maybe try to bring all that to every single pieces of your life. There's so much more than just this part of the Weight Watchers or weight loss part of your life. That's a small portion of your life. It truly is.
Sometimes it does feel very overwhelming.
Sometimes it feels like it takes over and it's the biggest.
It does.
But in the grand overall big picture of your life, it really is just a piece.
It is a piece.
It's a piece.
But think when you feel like, okay, I'm going to go back to when we did this at different times in our life, and a lot of the, we did it when we were younger. We did it in our 20s. We did it in our 30s. I know we did it in our 40s. I mean, we did it multiple times.
Yeah.
And I think really think back that I remember at one point I was very close to go weight, and this was the one I think it was in my 20s.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was very close to goal weight, and I pretty much would call myself at goal weight because I was 132 pounds. I would call myself goal weight, but I wasn't the 120s, so I didn't call myself goal weight.
But at the age you were at, you could have gone closer to the lower end of your goal weight at that age,
right? But for me, I spent 8 years with that off. But all those entire 8 years, I told myself I was fat. Here I was in my 20s and 30s, and I was at a goal weight that's lower than this, even this maybe. I told myself every day that I was fat. I would look in the mirror and see someone who was fat, and it's because I wouldn't let that go. So this time around, I told myself, and we talked about this, I told myself, I said, Kim, when I hit goal weight, I am not going to look in the mirror and say, you're fat. I'm going to look in the mirror and say, you look great, you worked hard for this, and this is how you're going to stay. And frankly, that's what I do every day. I look in the mirror and it makes me smile. I didn't then. I looked in the mirror and looked, and it wasn't good enough. Yeah. Found all the things that were wrong with me.
Some things come with age.
Maybe.
But some things come with you. You learn a lot as you go along. And some things you have to do multiple times to really get it right.
And even looking like this, I continually beat myself up. I'd put a pair of size 4s on, and it wasn't good enough, and I was still fat, and I had something critical to say about myself. That has to stop. Yeah. Until you stop that, I think your success is going to be really hard to fight. I think it's going to be hard to fight for that success when all you're doing is dragging yourself back. And I ultimately did gain that weight back because I couldn't be happy. I couldn't be happy with who I was.
Yeah.
In that respect, in the way I looked.
And I think this time around you're more successful because you are happy with it.
I would agree. Now that, because I did what I promised. I look myself in the mirror every day, and it makes me happy. And I look at myself and I'm excited about where I'm at. So you have to do that every day. You have to pat yourself on the back. You have to look in the mirror and smile and say, look at how far I've come.
Yeah.
Or even, I'm on a journey. I might not be far into it, but look how far I've come. I'm doing this,
Just sometimes knowing that you're doing it and you're having some success, that should be enough. But we always want more.
We do.
The little things we accomplish
faster
are never enough. When we went into this, I thought, there's no reason I can't lose 100 and some pounds in a year. And I said that.
Right.
But knowing that I'm hypothyroid and knowing I should have known better, but I figured it out quickly.
Yeah.
I lost the first 50
and came into
6 months.
Acceptance.
And then I realized that it was going to be slower. And then I realized, you know what? My body is not going to respond the way that maybe someone who doesn't have my problem is going to respond. Yeah. And also, I wasn't willing to go to the gym and do the hardcore that some people love, come to love.
Come to love. Yeah.
I wasn't willing to do that because I knew I would not maintain that. And I knew that about myself. I didn't beat myself up about it. I just knew that was me. I just knew that wasn't going to be me.
Yeah.
And that's okay. So I went, you know what? If it takes me 4 years, I don't care if it takes me 10. That's okay.
It's okay.
I'm happy with where I'm at in the journey. Do I want to get to go? Sure, I do. Because I'm so excited because I'm so close.
But most people think you are.
But I'm excited. I know. Somebody said that to me the other day. I've had that several people say to me, "You guys look exactly alike," and I'm like, "But we don't." I cannot wear her clothes.
You can't. But if you look at us side by side,
true,
we look alike.
We do.
We look at this. We look the same way.
But
it's just you want to wear my clothes.
Clothes hide a lot.
Yeah. You want to wear my clothes.
I am 10 pounds from you. I mean, I am 11 pounds from you. I truly am.
Isn't far.
No, it's not. But it still is.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's exciting that people say that, and I so appreciate it because, you know, it makes me feel good, and I know we are very close to it. So that tells me, that actually more than anything tells me how close I am.
Yep.
So I'm excited. I want to get there because I'm excited. Yep. But I'm never, ever going to beat myself up with how long this has taken.
Nope.
It has been way too much fun to beat myself up.
And like we embrace the turtle. Sometimes if you embrace your challenges and come to acceptance, I think it's so easier to say, that's just how I am. That's how I lose weight. This is my journey, nobody else's. It's okay. It's okay. And if you embrace that, I think it's easier to be positive about it.
Yes.
You go in accepting it's going to take longer, and that's just the way it is.
Yep. It's just the way it is. And it's been fun.
It's been quite a journey.
It has been quite the journey. And I figured out a lot about myself along the way, other than just about weight loss. I figured out that I'm way more persistent than I ever thought I was.
Yeah.
About a lot of things. And I think this part of my life has bled over into other parts of my life.
Yes.
I will say I have transferred a lot of the things I figured out along the way to a lot of areas.
Yeah, you think, you know, to 51-year-old women at this point, we would feel like, you know, you do. With age, you do learn a lot. You learn things. You live through things. But these last 4 years, I've learned even more about myself.
Yeah, definitely.
Or it's really solidified in my mind, these things about myself.
The things that I know I'm capable of that I never... She and I talked about that the other night, actually. I said to you, did you ever in a million years think that I would do this? Because I was very... Kelly was actually really worried for me. She was always so worried for me. Because I was 260 pounds.
And she was very resistant over the years to weight loss. I was always ready to do it. And I always kept a boundary between myself and doing certain, like I didn't secret eat. Would never let myself go into a store at a gas station and buy a candy bar. Like if I would never do that. That was a rule. I had rules that kept me
even though you're overweight.
Even though I was overweight, I still had certain rules that would not let me cross over a certain line. And she didn't have those rules, and it scared me because I really thought at some point, is she going to have a heart attack? What am I going to do? I mean, when you're twins, there's the impact of that. It sometimes is even stronger because you do have such a close relationship, and there is that connection of she's like me. I mean, it's hard to explain if you're not a twin.
Yeah.
But the reality is
I have to realize that what I do impacts her.
And
it does. It impacts what she'll have if I die of a heart attack because I didn't take care of myself. That impacts her life.
Right. So my fear was, am I gonna go upstairs? Am I gonna go upstairs to her area and go knock knock knock, hello, and she's dead? I mean, I will not. I will say I had those thoughts. I had fear of that, and it's scary when you really are afraid for somebody's life because they're not taking care of themselves. Yes. And I had those, and she was so resistant, and I can't even tell you the fear.
I can't imagine going back to that.
Yeah.
I can't fathom it. And I think that's because this took so long.
Yeah.
I think that my mind, I finally made, and I'm still, the plus is that my mind shifted to that.
So, yeah.
And I'm still in the journey.
Yeah.
And I'm actually glad I got that before I reached goal.
Yeah.
Because I think that can be sometimes when goal is a little harder to maintain when you haven't done that adjustment.
Yeah.
Because if you lose it, but your mind really hasn't shifted to that, your relationship's different.
Yeah. You look at me and you're like, your mindset, maintenance.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say so far, because you know, you never say never.
Never say never.
But I'm gonna say, because I'm open, I'm very protective of my maintenance. I'm very protective of my mindset that I want to keep, and I never want to let that change, because I think you can allow things to enter and change. But for me, I feel like it's been a breeze, and I'm going to say that, knock on wood, because it's been easy for me to do this. This is how I live, and this is who I am. So it's like, it's not like I have to do too much effort. And I think it's all that time it took to get here.
I truly,
all that time it took to get here.
So whenever you're beating yourself up that it's taken forever, don't.
Yeah,
because
it's a blessing for me.
I think it happens how it's supposed to happen for you, and I think if yours is taking time, that you need to take the opportunity of having that time to figure this part out to go with the rest of it.
It's been a blessing.
That is so crucial. I think that was the best thing that ever happened.
Been a blessing.
For us.
Yep, and I hope that I'm always able, and don't think that I don't occasionally have fears, that I don't have a fear that one thing or something may one day derail me. Everybody, I think, when you've been here, when you've been overweight, there's always that little part of you,
but
that
maybe
has
it's that
fear,
little part of you, that little bit of fear that you have to have.
It's maybe that's that little tiny fear of, that keeps me here and keeps me in check. Maybe. So at this point, though, I just want to live a happy, healthy life, and that's my goal. And I hope that everybody out there with that same goal can be kind to themselves.
So please be kind to yourself. Make the little boxes. Figure out where you're not being kind to yourself, because maybe if there's an area you're really not being kind to yourself, maybe it's bleeding over into the weight loss area.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Take care of yourself.
Take care of yourself, because no one else will.
I know.
You're your only caretaker, truly. There is no one who takes better care of you than you. Yep. And that's how it's supposed to be.
Right.
So you have to make it so.
Make it so. So we will see you next week.
No,
right?
we have something to share.
Oh, we do. I forgot. Oh, yeah. Okay. Oh, my God. We're going to actually eat, too.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Kim Elder, for sending this to us. These Easy Egg Witch thing. What it is it helps you make the perfect round egg to put on
your like the English muffin.
Yeah. So what you do is you put the egg in here.
Yep.
You mix it up, and you can put whatever, salt, pepper, mushrooms, veggies, I guess, if you want.
Turkey bacon, turkey pepperoni,
and then
whatever.
You put the lid on, and you put it in the microwave for a minute, and it makes. So there's 2 of them in there. Thank you, Kim, because we each get one. It makes the perfect little round. Oh, condensation. It makes a perfect little round egg, and I want them to kind of see.
And they're non-stick. You don't have to spray them.
No, you don't have to spray them. Ours has been sitting here through our video. So, but otherwise, this would be easier to come up. But it makes a perfect round egg.
And I salt and peppered it, so.
And since we're not eating it on a sandwich, we're just going to go ahead and eat it.
Yeah, so we're going to taste it.
It's just a perfect egg in
a little circle.
That is a very perfect egg. In a little circle. Because it's going to go right on your English muffin. I like it. Well, next time maybe we'll do little egg sandwiches. We should have done little egg sandwiches.
We should have a breakfast meeting. We should have a little breakfast video and just have breakfast with you.
Little egg sandwiches on camera.
And grapes.
God, I love eggs.
For some reason, when I eat an egg sandwich with, my fat-free cheese or whatever, and maybe sometimes a piece of ham, I like grapes with it. Is that weird?
I just think it's good.
Really?
Eggs on the side. On the side. It's weird. I do not think that's weird. I'm calling it weird. Anyway. I'm calling it weird. So, we will see you next week.
Later.
Bye.